welcome to the Dice Tower. This is the Origin Summer Preview with the Dice Tower, done at the Origins Game Fair 2013 in conjunction both with the Dice Tower and the Game and Manufacturers Association, GAMA. In this series of videos, we talk to different publishers and designers about games that have just come out or that are about to come out in the future. Here's today's video with your host, Eric Summer.
We're at Origins 2013. I'm back with Alex from Mayfair Games, and this is a game I've really been looking forward to. This is the latest Terry Pratchett universe game from Martin Wallace, The Witches. This is a very early prototype. You're still making changes, figuring stuff out, but give us an idea of how this game works.
So Martin Wallace, and to be clear right now, Martin Wallace is still working on the development of this game. So what we're showing right now is the current state of the art of the prototype.
Okay.
So yeah, you know, there may be changes, but I think from a mechanics standpoint, this is certainly well enough along to be able to give you a flavor for how the game's going to work. So at this point now, we've moved from Ankh-Morpork and we're now into Lanker as our town of choice, our area of choice for the game. In this game, you're playing 4 of our apprentice witches who are traveling around fixing the sort of things that apprentice witches would normally fix, but will run into perhaps bigger problems than they can handle or should handle along the way as well. So the game will end with somebody having the most victory points, which are denoted on the problem tiles. However, there are a couple of ways this game can end where nobody wins. So it's a somebody wins unless nobody wins game. Right? The witches themselves, the tiles are fairly placeholders. There's a small advantage that each one of them have that starts the game, but it's not a big advantage. It's just something that maybe will give you a little bit of separation in what you should do on your first couple of turns. What we've got on the board here are problems, both small and large. Small ones are known. They're simply things like broken limbs, a sick sheep. They're very simple things, and we know that they're simple because they have a point value that is fairly low, and this is a target number that you're going to need to achieve by rolling dice. Large problems are going to pop up when you actually encounter them. So our little purple nuns, which actually have a much higher value, they're usually around, they start at 16 and work up to about 24.
Oh, wow.
Those are a little bigger deal, especially on 4d6. So in this case, what you have is your witch, and Tiffany over there is my favorite of the lot. So we'll put Tiffany over here at Blasted Oak, and on her turn, she's going to be able to move and act, and then move and act.
Okay.
Simply moving along a road to an adjacent area, or can play a card with a flying witch symbol, and that lets her fly to wherever on the board. Right. Cards in this game are going to have multiple opportunities to act. You can either use them for a symbol at the top, of which there are only 3, so it's pretty easy to keep track, or you can use them for their text effect here. There's another way that cards come into play, which is at the beginning of each turn. At the beginning of every player's turn, we're going to flip over a card, and we're going to find a place that has a new problem.
Gotcha.
So in this case, we would say, well, Badass is over here. Uh-oh, we have a problem there already. So instead of putting a problem out there, we're going to put a crisis marker, which is going to up that one a little bit by 2 points. And we're going to flip another card, and now we have a place to put a problem out. These have been preset based on the number of players, a mix of small and large problems, and the game timer is this. So every turn one of these will pick up, and when this exhausts, that will be the end of the game. Okay. However, you note the crisis marker we put out there. There's a very limited number of those, and should all of those crises go out, and we run out, and you're to place a tile and we don't have any in the supply, game's over. Everyone loses. So in this case, Tiffany has flown over here and has a simple pregnancy to have to deal with. Her target number is 10, so she will roll 2 dice. Well, that's a good start. We have 6 of our 10 that we need, but we've also taken our little skull and crossbones, means a cackle.
Yeah, that can't be good.
No, not usually. So there's a cackle symbol now that you'll put down on your marker. It's not bad to have a few of them running around. It's bad if you have the most of them and we run out of cackle markers and you have to take another one, in which case you're going to start going Black Alice and take a minus victory point the rest of the way. So cackle right now, 1 little cackle, no big deal. At this point, I have a choice. I could bail, retreat to an empty area, and say, this is not going well. In this case, I'm feeling pretty good. I got 6 of 10. I think I can push on. To successfully resolve a problem, I'm going to have to roll all 4 dice, even if I make my target number on this first roll. But before I do these last 2 dice, I can now play cards from my hand to improve my number value. Cards that have this little circle and star symbol, that's going to give me a +2 on my roll. And there's a headology symbol, which is basically a +1. So I could drop these 2 cards out of my hand, giving me now a 9 of the 10 I need. Feeling pretty good about rolling 1 on 2d6. I roll again. I take another cackle, that's not so good, but I now have my target number. I would take the problem, I put it on my mat. Small problems, for every 2 small problems I solve, I increase my hand size by 1, up to 7. We start at 3. For every large problem that I solve, I get a permanent +1 towards any other problem that I solve. So the game has a little bit of an engine, and players have to keep track of where everybody is and kind of keep up with the Joneses as far as that goes. There are 2 other things that can possibly happen. Obviously, you can just travel to a location. You can play cards for their text effect at any point in time that they're appropriate. So you're not limited by as an action to play a card. You can play whatever you needed. The other kind of cute mechanic is if you find yourself in a city with another witch, you stop for tea. And tea is good because tea is a chance to kind of relax and get these cackles out of your system. The player's turn it is that triggers tea, gets to get rid of 3 of them. Other players at tea get to get rid of 2 of them. Very simple.
All right.
And that's the game. We're going to travel around fixing problems, both large and small, until either we get through all of our problems here, or we have the 2 endgame triggers, which is the crises run out, or elves are a bad thing going on here. So if we ever have 3 face-up purple tiles that have an elves crisis, game ends and everybody loses. So that's a quick snapshot of what's going on with this game.
So this is very early. Things are still in flux. What is your timeline looking like here?
The development on this is being done by Tree Frog. So Martin Wallace is obviously the person in charge of this. So we get periodic updates from New Zealand.
I'm sure.
This is targeted, I believe, in the Essen time frame. So this will be out, sort of that October-ish. Again, that's he's setting the schedule on this. But right now, things look pretty good that this will be out late in 2013.
And your version should be pretty close after that, simultaneous?
Sure. Well, it's our version is the Tree Frog version. I mean, he's doing the production on it, but we will have, our version will be the version that will be out for general consumption at that point. So.
Okay. Terrific. Alex, thank you once again.
No problem.
Thanks so much for watching The Dice Tower and the Origin Summer Preview. We'll see you next time. I'm Tom Vassell, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.